Business Today is brought to you by
Life happens in a second, and we've seen 5.5 billion of them. 175 years of life's moments, all added up. With every tick of the hand, Sagicor will be there to turn those seconds into decades of prosperity. Sagicor, 175 years of wise financial thinking for life.
This is Business Today. I'm Marlon Martin. Vice President of the European Investment Bank, EIB, Pim van Ballekom, is not satisfied that Barbados is getting enough private sector investment in development projects. And with the EU's non-profit long-term lending institution set to establish a physical presence here in January next year, he is eager to see that change.
We have to find means to involve the private sector more, because we can't, the public sector can't do it alone. And if we are triggering the private sector by a small amount of support from the European Commission and a part of a lending operation by the European Investment Bank or any other development bank, and if then financial institutions or institutional investors are coming along, I think then we can make the difference in the region.
Today, the decades-old EIB has disbursed approximately 165 million euros in loans for projects in Barbados, the biggest client being the Barbados Light and Power Company Limited. Other clients include the airport and Bridgetown Port. Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for energy, Senator Darcy Boyce, is pleased that the private sector is making strides in expanding the renewable energy sector in Barbados. However, he acknowledged that government is still struggling to put everything in place to accommodate the pace of growth which the private sector needs. He identified the application process as one area for improvement. Boyce was part of a ministerial panel on sustainable energy policies during the inaugural EU Caribbean Sustainable Energy Conference at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center yesterday.
I raise all these issues because they're really issues of regulation that we're trying to grapple with. And we've moved, from a one monopoly system to democratized system. We're moving from one type of fuel generation, power generation, several different types of power generation. So we've got to work on this regulatory system. We could have waited and try to do it all nicely with nice theory and miss target. If we'd done that, we probably wouldn't have had anything in place.
Boyce also announced that technocrats are still working on the application process for large power producers to follow, pointing out that such a framework should be in place by the end of this year.
And combined with that, we are putting in place a study is about to start or has just started to look at a price for power, for renewable energy that is unlinked from the price of fossil fuel. Now, we've done that for the domestic and small customers by way of the renewable energy rider.
Long waits, red tape, inefficiencies, and corruption have the potential to impact negatively on production in local and regional firms and add as much as 15% to the cost of goods in small island states. This assertion comes from Director General at the CARICOM Office of Trade Negotiation, Gail Mathurin, who says through the signing of the Trade Facilitation Agreement 3 years ago, CARICOM member states recognized the importance of trade facilitation in enhancing their competitiveness, attracting direct foreign investment, and deepening regional integration. She was addressing a seminar on the implementation of the World Trade Organization Agreement on Trade Facilitation at the Radisson Aquatica on Monday.
And for small open economies highly dependent on revenues from border taxes, enhanced efficiency and transparency in border operations can also optimize revenue collection. But the cost of implementing the Trade Facilitation Agreement would require significant investment in training, institutional building, and physical infrastructure. And for this reason, the Council for Trade and Economic Development, the COTED, agreed to adopt a coordinated regional approach to implementing the agreement, including the mobilization of financial and technical resources.
One of the Caribbean's largest conglomerates has donated just over US $22,000 in non-perishable food items to hurricane-ravaged Haiti. The The Jamaica-based GraceKennedy Limited made the donation through the Food for the Poor Jamaica Association following an appeal after Hurricane Matthew wreaked havoc in the Caribbean island last week, killing more than 300 people and displacing hundreds of thousands more. Group Chief Executive Officer Don Webby said officials of the company were pressed to respond immediately to the appeal after seeing the destruction that occurred. The company also announced that besides food items, staff were collecting items of clothing and other essentials to send to Haiti. There will also be subsequent contribution from GraceKennedy's subsidiaries and partners. Now for today's financial tip. Don't be afraid to put aside a portion of your salary for lifestyle spending, including movies, happy hours, and dining out. By adopting this rule, you can save and splurge at the same time. That's been Business Today. Join us again on Thursday. Until then, you can get more business and news by logging on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribing to our e-paper, and liking us on Facebook. I'm Marlon Madden.